So today in biology we're going to start a new topic, and this is homeostasis. So homeostasis is defined as the regulating and maintenance of the internal environment of the body. It's the regulating and maintenance of the internal environment of the body. And the next thing that we're going to talk about are the organs that facilitates homeostasis. So the first organ, we have the kidney. So the kidney helps to maintain the water levels and the salt levels in the body. Then the other organ, we have the liver. So the liver controls the glucose levels in blood. Then the other organ, we have the skin. So the skin regulates the water levels, the salt levels, and the temperature of the body. So I've said the organs that we're going to talk about. The organs, the first organ, we have the kidney. So this regulates the water levels and the salt levels. Then the second organ, we have the liver. So this maintains the glucose levels, but it also maintains the levels of amino acids and fatty the amount of amino acids and fats. Then we have the skin. So this maintains the water levels, then salts and temperature. So the first thing that we're going to look at is how the body maintains the water levels. So how the body maintains the water levels. And we'll start with when there is low concentration, low concentration of water in the blood. So low water levels in the blood. So if the body has low levels of water in the blood, this will be detected by the hypothalamus as blood passes through the brain. And when this is detected, the hypothalamus will make the pituitary gland to produce the hormone ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone. And the antidiuretic hormone is going to be transported by the blood to the nephrons. And when it reaches the nephrons, it's going to cause the nephrons to be more permeable to water. And this means that during selective reabsorption, more water molecules will be reabsorbed, and in that way the amount of water in the blood is going to be maintained at its optimum. And after that occurs, the amount of urine that is produced is concentrated and in small volume. That's the amount of urine that is produced. So here you're supposed to know the function of the ADH. Let us look at when there is high water levels. So if in the body there is high water levels, this is also going to be detected by the hypothalamus as blood passes through the brain. And when it is detected that there is high levels of water in the blood, the hypothalamus won't make the pituitary gland to produce ADH. And the absence of ADH will make the nephrons not to be more permeable to water. And this means that during selective reabsorption, less water is going to be reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, and due to this, a large volume of urine is going to be produced, and that urine is going to be diarrhea. So much of the water is going to be lost through urine, and in that way the water levels will be maintained in blood. So that's how the water levels are maintained. Let us now look on how the salt levels are maintained. So the next thing I've said, we're going to talk about the salt levels. We're going to talk about the salt levels. So when there is low salt levels, what happens? So if there is low levels of salts in the blood, this means that during selective reabsorption, much of the salts are going to be reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, and in that way the salt levels will be maintained. Let us look at when there is high levels. So high salt levels. So if there are high salt levels in the blood, this means that during selective reabsorption, much of the salts will be reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, and due to this, much of the salts they are going to be lost through urine. And the next thing that we're going to talk about it's temperature. So we're going to talk about temperature. And temperature, the organs that maintain temperature, we have the liver, we also have the skin. So let us look when the temperature drops below 37 when it drops below 37 degrees Celsius. So when the temperature of the body drops below 37 degrees Celsius, this means that the body must involve itself in the activities that will help generate heat, and one of the process is the continuous relaxation and contraction of muscles, and that is referred to as shivering. So that will cause shivering. So shivering will cause the generating of heat. And the other thing that causes the generating of heat is that during respiration that occurs in the liver, much of the energy that will be produced will be converted into heat. So heat is converted from energy that is produced in the liver. So after the heat is produced, that is going to make the temperature to go back to 37 degrees. Then the other thing that happens when the body temperature is below 37 degrees, this will cause the blood vessels to reduce in size, or they'll become narrow in shape. And when that occurs, that means that less amount of heat will be lost to the skin, and the contraction of the muscles is referred to as vasoconstriction, and this usually comes in paper 1 and paper 2. So vasoconstriction is going to take place. Vasoconstriction is going to take place. Then do we have some more? The other thing that is going to happen is that the elector muscles, they are going to contract, and when the elector muscles they contract, that is going to cause the hair to elect. So after the hair is elects on the surface of the skin, that hair is going to trap a layer of air, and that layer of air will prevent heat loss. So the elector muscles will contract, so these are the processes that occur when the body temperature drops below 37 degrees Celsius. Let us look when the body temperature is above 37 degrees, when it's above 37 degrees, and that means the body needs to lose heat. So above 37 degrees Celsius. So when the body temperature is about 37 degrees Celsius, this means that the heat has to be lost, and there are some processes that occur, and one of them is vasodilation. And vasodilation is a process by which the blood capillaries they will become dilate, or they will increase in size. And after the increase in size, this means that the amount of blood that will be passing through the blood vessels is going to be high, and that means most of the heat is going to be lost to the surface of the skin. So the first process I've said, there is vasodilation, and this usually comes both in paper 1 and in paper 2. Then the other process that helps to lose heat is that the other process that helps to reduce it is that the elector muscles, they're going to relax, and this means that the hairs on the surface of the skin, they are going to lay flat, and this means they are not going to trap any air, and this means that the body won't be insulated from heat loss. So heat is going to be lost. Then the other process is sweating. So when the body temperature is above 37 degrees, the much of the sweat is going to be produced by the sweat glands, and when sweat comes out of the surface of the skin, it's going to evaporate, and when it evaporates, it's going to cool the body. That is the reason why you discover that after you're from doing your exercise or running or whatever, when you touch your skin is going to feel cool, or it's going to be cold, and the reason why is because sweating takes away the heat. So sweating is the other process. So this is how the body maintains the salt levels, the water levels, and temperature. So we're going to proceed. We're going to look at on how the body maintains the glucose levels. So under homeostasis, we're going to proceed, and now we're going to look at how the glucose levels are maintained in the body. So the glucose levels are also referred to as the sugar levels, and they can be high concentration of glucose levels or low concentration of glucose levels, and these glucose levels have to be maintained, and this is carried out by two enzymes, and these enzymes, we have the insulin and the glucagon. So the enzymes that maintain the glucose levels, we have insulin, we also have glucagon. So insulin is produced when there is high concentration of sugar levels in the body, and glucagon is produced when there is low concentration of sugar levels in the body. So we are going to start with the processes that are involved when there is high concentration of glucose levels. So high levels of glucose. So if there is high concentration of glucose in the body, the pancreas is going to produce the hormone insulin, and that insulin is going to be transported by the bloodstream, and when it reaches the liver, it will cause the liver cells to convert the excess glucose into glycogen. So here the first thing is that the hormone insulin is produced, and this insulin is transported into the bloodstream. And remember that insulin comes from the pancreas, and when insulin reaches the liver cells, it's going to cause the liver cells to convert the excess glucose into glycogen. So when it reaches the liver, it will cause the liver cells to convert excess glucose. So excess glucose will be converted into glycogen. So these are the processes that are involved when there is high concentration of glucose levels in the body. Let us look at if there is low concentration of glucose. So low concentration, so low levels of glucose. So if there is low levels of glucose in the body, the pancreas is going to produce the hormone glucagon, and glucagon is going to be transported into the bloodstream. And when it reaches the liver, it will cause the liver cells to convert the glycogen back to glucose, and in that way the glucose levels will be maintained in the body. So here the pancreas, the first process involves the pancreas producing the hormone glucagon, and this glucagon is going to be transported by the blood system. The bloodstream, and when glucagon reaches the liver, so when glucagon reaches the liver, it's going to cause the liver cells. So it will cause the liver cells to convert the stored glycogen into glucose. So the stored glycogen into glucose, and in that way the glucose levels will be maintained. In the body. So this is how the body maintains the glucose levels, and this means we are done with homeostasis. Next time we're going to start a new topic. And where you have questions, you can ask in the group.